Apple TV Plus has a world of brilliant original shows, and there really is something for everyone. Whether you have just signed up for the streaming platform and need ideas on where to start, or are deciding to sign up at all, here are our top recommendations for what to add to your must-watch list and why. Bad Sisters. Bad Sisters follows a group of sisters determined to murder their fellow siblings' emotionally abusive husband, Jean-Paul, with their attempts perfectly teetering between hilarious and heartbreaking. This show is unlike anything I've seen before. It's instantly a whodunit before delving into a whydunit, with each character having a personal motive to wanting Jean-Paul dead. Jean-Paul, incidentally, is surely the telly's most evil villain, and I include King Joffrey from Game of Thrones in that. I rooted for the sisters to murder him like I was at a football match. Emmy Griffiths, digital TV and film editor Shrinking. Shrinking follows a therapist, Jason Segel, who is struggling in his personal and work life. Whilst grieving the loss of his wife and trying to repair his relationship with his daughter, Lakita Maxwell, he is making many unethical choices at the clinic where he works alongside Dr. Paul Rhodes, Harrison Ford, changing the lives of his clients and his along the way. I love easygoing series, and this one was lighthearted, fun, and endearing. You immediately fall in love with all the characters and become deeply invested in each storyline. It's no doubt the best release of the year on any streaming platform, and I can't wait for Season 2 next year. Andrea Camano, Managing Editor Ted Lasso. There's a reason why Ted Lasso has won numerous awards. The cast, the plot, and the many heartwarming moments all come together to create a show that's akin to a comfort blanket. I first watched this show when it came out during lockdown, and it was a real tonic. Jason Sudeikis, understandably, gets a lot of credit for his role as a hapless American coach who comes to the UK to manage a struggling football team. But the real standout stars are, for me, Hannah Waddingham and Brett Goldstein, the latter of whom plays a foul-mouthed but lovable player who is incredibly watchable on screen. Give it a go if you haven't already. Francesca Shilcock, Senior TV Writer. Platonic. Platonic follows two former best friends Sylvia, Rose Byrne, and Will Seth Rogen, who reconnect in midlife after a years-long rift. A comedy at its heart, Platonic is also an emotional tale of what it means to grow up, change, and figure out if the friendships you had in your 20s still work in your 40s, especially when your lives are wildly different. What I loved about Platonic was that there was never a hint that the relationship between Sylvia and Will was romantic. Other people may have questioned it, but Will and Sylvia knew what so many others failed to recognize, that men and women can be friends. The comedic chemistry between Rose and Seth was joyful to watch, and I was impressed with how the writers expertly fleshed out the supporting characters, and in particular Luke McFarlane as Sylvia's husband Charlie, giving them space for their own growth as Will and Sylvia's friendship leaves a wake of necessary destruction in its path. Rebecca Lewis, Los Angeles correspondent Slow Horses. Honestly, despite hearing all of the hype about Slow Horses, I didn't think I'd be keen. I decided to give it my 10-minute test. If I don't like a show after 10 minutes, I switch it off. Fast forward 6 hours, it's 2 a.m., and I'm contemplating if I can really stay up and watch the finale, because oh my god, what a brilliant, brilliant show. The dark comedy drama follows a group of washed-up MI5 agents who have ended up in the most boring part of the job after irrevocably messing up in one way or another, and are led by the somewhat gross but very entertaining Jackson Lamb, Gary Oldman, as they stumble into the middle of a white supremacy kidnap plot and a Russian sleeper agent situation in Season 2. Watch it ahead of Season 3, it's worth it. Emmy Griffiths, digital TV and film editor. Trying. If you're looking for a feel-good watch, I strongly recommend Apple TV's Trying. This heartfelt series is an earnest depiction of the adoption process, penned by writer Andy Wolton, who was adopted as a young child himself.